Hello everyone, it's Nick here with Nick's 80's hard rock album reviews. We're in the year 1983, and to kick it off, this album by Def Leppard, Pyromania, was released in 1983. And Def Leppard came from England, so they're not an American band. They came from England, and this is their third album. I don't have the first two albums, but this album was actually a bit of a change in sound. Their first two albums was just straight hard rock. Don't get me wrong, this is hard rock as well, but they hired a well-known producer called Mutt Lange, who had a knack for giving bands a really big sound, a really sort of just a really big full sound, and he certainly did it with this album here. It's got soaring choruses and big guitars and just a big sound, and this was just an instant success for Def Leppard, and it got them noticed over in America. Well, it got them more than noticed. This is what sort of kick-started their career, and this was more of a radio-friendly sort of glam hard rock album compared to the first two. So now that they had quite a few singles. I'll actually just read out the songs on this album. You got Rock Rock Till You Drop, Photograph, Stage Fright, Too Late for Love, Die Hard the Hunter, Fooling, Rock of Ages, Coming Under Fire, Action Not Words, and Billy's Got a Gun. Now, there's a photo of the band here, but it's very hard to make out their faces, but I'll introduce them anyway. On the far left is Phil Collen. Now, Phil Collen actually joined the band on this album. Now, he replaced one of the original guitarists, Pete Willis. Now, Pete had to be told to leave the band because of excessive alcohol consumption, to say the least, and Phil Collen joined the band. Now, he was good friends with the band anyway beforehand, but Phil Collen was I did actually mention this in the Def Leppard video previously, but Phil Collen was in a band called Girl, and that featured Phil Lewis, the lead singer, who went on to become the lead singer of LA Guns, the Los Angeles band. So there's Phil Collen on the far left, Joe Elliott, Phil Collen, far left guitar, Joe Elliott standing up there, lead singer. Standing in the back there next to Joe Elliott is Rick Allen. It's very hard to see, sorry about this, it's a weird type of photo. Sitting down there is Rick Savage, bass player, and on the far right there is the late Steve Clark, guitars. Now, in regards to the single Photograph, that went number 12 on the Billboard American charts. The song Rock of Ages went number 16 on the Billboard American charts. The song Fooling went number 28 on the Billboard charts. And the song Coming Under Fire went number 9 on the mainstream rock charts. So they did very well for this. And also this album has sold over 10 million copies in the United States. 10 million copies, that is unbelievable. It reached number 2. This album reached number 2 on the American Billboard 200 chart, number 4 on the Canadian charts, and number 18 on the European charts in their hometown. Now, the Rolling Stone magazine back in 2004 named this album number 384, that one of the greatest albums of all time, came in at number 384. Also, Rolling Stone named this number 17 of the greatest hair metal albums amongst 50 other albums, and also this reached number 52 on the 100 greatest metal albums of all time. So they really did well. And in regards to summing up the sound of this album, it's very melodic, and that's what. It's more melodic than their first two albums, and it's got great usage of the two guitarists. They just play off each other so well, And it's strange because Steve Clark, one of the guitarists, was a classical trained guitar player, whilst on the other hand, Phil Collen was more into the fast playing guitar. And his influence with the likes of Eddie Van Halen, who of course was a guitarist from Van Halen, and Ritchie Blackmore from Deep Purple. So two totally different extremes of guitarists, but their sound just meshed so well with each other. That they played off each other so well. Yeah, so, and as I said, very melodic songs, very melodic, and just a very easygoing, and it really gets your foot tapping. This album, it really does. Just great choruses. Now, my personal favourite tracks would have to be Photograph. That is one of my favourites. That is just, I mean, that was a hit single, obviously. That's just a hugely melodic song and sound. Stage Fright is another one of my favourites. Die Hard the Hunter. Rock of Ages, which has a massive chorus that you can sing along to if you want to. Coming Under Fire, and Billy's Got a Gun. Now, the song Billy's Got a Gun just features, as I said before, Phil Collen and Steve Clark, the guitarists, just playing off each other so well. They'll be both doing solos at the same time, and it just works so well. And I should actually mention, as I mentioned at the start of this video, Pete Willis, the original guitarist who was thrown out of the band, they still did keep his rhythm guitar tracks on this album. So even though he got thrown out, during the process of this album, they still kept his rhythm guitar tracks. It was either on, I think, about half of the album. I could be wrong, yeah, but they did. They left at least half of some of his guitar work on it. So yeah, so Pete Willis still does appear on this album, but Phil Collen made his debut with this band, and yeah, and this album was obviously the first great success that came to the band, and of course they would reach even more success later on, and we'll go into that in their next album after this one. So just a really enjoyable CD album, and a must-have, obviously, for any Def Leppard fan, obviously, but a must-have for anyone who likes their melodic hard rock music. So Def Leppard Pyromania. Now, out of 10, I'm going to give every CD I have a review, every album CD. I give this a 9 out of 10. I mean, it's pretty much faultless. There's only one or two tracks that might not be as catchy as the other ones, and that's all I can. That's it, and that's not a criticism at all. A very catchy album, and a band that conquered the United States. That's what they did. They conquered the United States, and better things were on the horizon for this band. Much better things. So I give this a 9 out of 10, and just a fantastic band, and they're still going to this day, which is just absolute congratulations to Def Leppard. They're still going strong today. And so on that note, there's Def Leppard's Pyromania, released in 1983. And let's see, the next album in 1983 we're going to look at is Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil, their second album. So next video will be in the same year, but Motley Crue. So until then, as Def Leppard are still doing to this day, keep on rocking and stay safe, and thank you again for watching. Bye-bye.